Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Athletes Are Human First podcast. I have a very special guest here with me today. I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself.
What's up, everybody? My name's Marquez. I am currently a videographer for the Golden State Valkyries. I'm a lifelong athlete, lover of sports and all things sports, and now creative media in the world of sports. I have a production company out here in the Bay Area. We do photo, video, creative direction, art direction, all of those things. And yeah, I'm excited to share my story and kind of get started.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about sports, the kind of role that's played in your life growing up.
Yeah, so I'm a kid born and raised in the Bay Area. I've played sports my entire life. I mean, I kind of jumped around starting in elementary school, kindergarten at like starting in t-ball, playing baseball, when I was in second grade, playing up with third and fourth graders, and then started traveling with baseball a little bit. And then kind of jumped around, started playing Pop Warner football, and then when I hit fifth, sixth grade, I found basketball, and that was kind of it from there. So I played basketball all the way from sixth grade through senior year of high school. And then in high school, I found track and field, which I fell in love with my junior year of high school. And then after high school, I ran 2 years of JUCO track. I was a sprinter. Then we went to state. And so that was a really fun experience. But lifelong athlete. And a lover of sports, still obviously very heavily involved in sports. Eat, sleep, breathe media and sports pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, tell me about like playing basketball probably throughout high school, but then making that jump to track. What made you make that jump and ultimately going to play to do it in college as well?
Yeah, so I mean, I had a pretty lengthy and extensive high school basketball career. Like I played AAU, pretty heavily, played with a couple people that either went pro, like made it to the NBA, played it with players that went overseas, and then even into the NFL. So I was very deep into basketball. My family helped start a basketball AAU program here in the Bay Area, which is now become Jason Kidd's team, Kid Select. But before that, it was Golden City. So my family kind of helped with the inception of Golden City. So we're one of the first teams there. But I think as I got later into high school, I kind of stopped growing, right? And I kind of had to play my odds, and it was looking slim for any college offers. Like even if it was Division 2, there were none. Essentially, I got like a letter of interest at some point, and I was looking at junior year, and one of my teammates on basketball, like he played football, basketball, and ran track. And I was like, okay, I'm curious about track. I've always been interested in it. Picked up track junior year. And I kind of went into it with no idea what I was doing. I was originally going to try throwing because one of my close friends was a thrower. And then I went to the practice the first day. I couldn't find him, but my other teammate was there from the basketball team who was a long jumper field. And then he's like, he just brought me and we did that. We did that. Like, then I started sprinting, and that's kind of how I got into that. I made it to like NorCal trials in
Mhm.
my first season, running track with no training. So I was like, okay, I think I have something here. Took it a little bit more serious senior year. And then after that, I actually stopped playing sports. I did a year of school at SF State, but I still had that itch. Being an athlete, I wasn't ready to let go of that competitive itch. So then I dropped down to City College to run and try and get a scholarship there and just try and see what was for me in this space because I was performing pretty well for someone with no training. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of how I transitioned from basketball into track. What definitely wasn't easy. Once I found track my junior year, I kind of like started pushing a little bit more heavy into like, okay, about performing, I perform a lot better. It's nice being an individual sport. So then by my senior year of high school, it was just that senior year was just for the fun of it, see how far we can go for basketball. And then track, I was like, okay, let's once the basketball season's over, we're gonna go in and try and see what we can do with track.
Yeah, I mean, we tell all our basketball boys at high school, like, do multiple sports, right? See what else is out there for you. Because, some of you, they all think they're Division 1 basketball players. And it's like, you might not be Division 1, you're going to be sadly disappointed, but go try different sports. And track is a great option for, a lot of our kids do track as well. And if nothing else, it helps them for their basketball season, right? They're in shape, they're in better cardio shape. The athleticism shows. Like, there's always things that you can still get out of it by doing other sports and competing, right? And with your friends too. So I think that's, the transition to going from basketball and doing track as well. There are different seasons, different time of the year, so you can still do both, right? It's not like you have to pick one or the other. But then also, getting opportunity to do it in college, right? Everyone wants to be a college athlete, and you had the opportunity, although it wasn't in basketball like maybe you originally planned for or hoped for. Your path was a little different, and then you went into track and had even success at the college level. So, that's just huge testament to like your work ethic, right? Like, you
Hmm.
give up because okay, I don't have a career in college basketball, but that doesn't mean I'm just not going to do anything anymore. You still took
Right.
full advantage of that opportunity to go do track as well.
Yeah, and I think that through the journey of transition to track, it also helped me with basketball my senior, especially because just understanding the biomechanics too that are different from basketball, right? It can be like basketball, you're just playing basketball and then you kind of lift and you work out in those ways. But for me, it helped me a lot with like hip mobility and understanding like the way that my posture is, the way that I drive power and drive force, um, kind of help with my with fast break layups. Like in general, just like my athleticism, help with my speed. But like I said, the biomechanics and understanding the importance of like hips, like hip mobility, knee health, and then like working out your Achilles, like you when you run track, you all of the knee injuries or Achilles injuries that you see in basketball, you are trained to be astute to that in track and field. You make sure you're warming up all of those muscles because those are the types of injuries that you can have. So it helped me in basketball, just like cross train my muscles, and then understanding, like I said, the biomechanics and the physiology of how the sport, how the health of your lower body impacts basketball in general.
Yeah, it could really help prevent injuries, right, for basketball by
Mhm.
using different muscles, but learning like, the mechanics of everything, right? And actually understanding your body, how to
Mhm.
warm up correctly.
Mhm.
Because a lot of basketball athletes now, they don't warm up correctly. They kind of just go through the motions and then, coach, I'm young, I'm ready to play, I'll be fine. And then not understanding like you're potentially leading yourself to injury, right? By not warming up properly, not taking care of your body, not understanding the mechanics. So doing other sports and actually live out your body, it could be huge for you.
Yeah, 100%. Like you would never run a track meet without warming up. You would never run a track meet without stretching ever. Not only because you're not gonna, you can get injured, but you're just not gonna perform as well. And the same applies to basketball because you're moving your body, and at the end of the day, like you're moving it for an intense period of time, and it needs to warm up.
Yeah, 100%. And so tell me about like your media side now. So when did that start for you and how did it get to where you're at now?
Yeah, definitely. So I picked up a camera for the first time. I mean, when I was a kid, when YouTube first came out, that there was a whole fad, like 2009, 2012, like the YouTube era was running crazy. And it was just so new. And I would pick up a camera and record some videos and post them on YouTube and make them in, what was it? In the Windows Media Player, like whatever the movie editing software for Microsoft was at the time, and like Windows 9, whatever it was, like Windows
Right.
10 or like 7, whatever it was. So that's where that started. I grew up watching a lot of YouTubers, but then it was until high school that I picked up a camera for myself, and like that was kind of the start, the official start where it never stopped again in a way. Picked up a camera in high school, family camera, and started taking photos of like going on walks, going birds and trees and flowers and things like that. And I did that and started taking photos with my friends in high school a little bit here and there. And then it wasn't until like I was actually graduated high school and I was already at City College that I was like, okay, let me see where this goes because there's a fire here. The same passion that I've had for sports, I'm feeling this here. Let's see what that is. So then I kind of found the outlets that were accessible to me. So my cousins are our DJs. And at the time, DJ Selly, she still DJs now, and so she was coming up, one of the few female DJs in the Bay Area. So she was doing a lot of things and kind of like exposing me to this space a little bit, and she got me into the beginnings of my nightlife career. So I started taking photos in the nightlife space, and that's kind of where I resided and kind of made connections for the next few years in that. And then from there, another cousin of mine started DJing, DJ Lex, and that was like around COVID time that she found that, and I was like, hey, I mean, we're right here, like between my cousin Selena, Selly, and myself. Like she's DJ'd, I take photos. Um, let's help her out. Let's do whatever we can to help you. So then I started there, and that's kind of when I picked up video, because I just wanted to help her out as best I could. I kind of had a little bit of video editing experience, and I kind of taught myself through there. Um, and then from there, she started blowing up, and then I started kept going, and then at that time, I was a going to City College when I first started photography, going for nursing.
Okay.
Then I transferred after City College to St. Mary's College of in Moraga to do business. That was me switching from nursing into business was kind of my push towards putting more effort into my creative career and everything that I wanted to do. I originally wanted to major in photography and find a photography school to go to. My parents weren't really feeling it. They're like, no, if we're gonna help pay for your college, we're not doing that. So we found the middle ground in business. I went specifically marketing because that was that try and keep it as creative as possible. My parents were okay with that. My dad was a business owner at the time, so he kind of understood the entrepreneurial spirit. So I went there, and then at that time going through that phase and kind of like learning a little bit more about business and what I wanted to do, I kind of started pushing into that direction. I was like, okay, where can I go from here? And graduated during COVID, couldn't find a job. So I worked as a project manager for a construction company while trying to help kickstart my creative career on the side. So still doing photography and video at this time and primarily in music. But then as I kept going in music, I'm like, okay, I started to understand that music artists and the music scene is just very up in the air. It takes a lot of flexibility, and a lot of sacrifice in nights, weekends. So it just got tiring over a lot of time. But so I was like, okay, let me find out what I want to do. Is this where I want to be? And that's kind of when went back into sports, where I was like, okay, I'm an athlete. I love sports. Basketball is my first love. I feel like I can bring what I've learned from the nightlife and concert space into sports, and that will provide me a little bit of a unique perspective. So, and then at the time, I was like, I didn't really know what freelancing for sports looked like. So I was like, okay, let me try and get on a team. I know that they have good media teams. Um, it's more secure. When artists come and go, they're gonna have their moment of fame, then they're gonna fall off, or they're not always going on tour. They're not always having shows. Sometimes they're in the lab working. So going off of other people's schedule in that sense was kind of iffy for me. But when I found sports, it's like, okay, if I'm on a team, there's always a team here. The Warriors are always gonna be there. Even after Stephen Curry retires, there's still gonna be an organization when anything happens, that's always gonna be there. So that's kind of and I loved it. So that was kind of how I found media within sports. And then from there, I didn't know what that even looked like, right? So I went to a pro-am game in San Francisco in the summer of 2023, and I shot a couple pro-am games. I made a video about it, made a reel of it, and then I saw an application for the Sacramento Kings open up, and it was for an internship for the content team. So what I did was like I applied for it, obviously. And then I kind of like did my research around the space of who is on that content team, and having that business background from St. Mary's that kind of taught me how to investigate the places that you want to work and little tricks and things to make yourself stand out. So I shot a DM to one of the video producers that was currently with the Kings, who happened to be we share a mutual friend that I went to college with that he grew up with. And I said, hey, we have a mutual friend. I saw that you work for the Kings. I just applied for the internship. Is there anything I can do on my application to stand out above the rest? Is there anything I can add? Anything I can send you? Anything I can submit? And then he said, don't worry about it, man. I got you. Like, we'll take a look at everything. And then from there, I got the interviews and kind of went through it, and I got that position. And I like to show that as a testament to like I was very new in the sports media space, but it was my networking ability and my like just hustle to just want it a little bit more than maybe other people did, to go out of my way and find out who I can talk to or how can I offer some kind of extra value to my resume as opposed to like DMing and saying, hey, can I get a hookup? Like we know somebody. Can I get the job? It was like, no, what more can I do
Right.
to make myself stand out? And I think that was a really big difference. And that was like a really big turning point for me, um, because it was like the connections, the networking, and just being genuine is what I think got me that position. So I spent the season with the Kings, and that was the year that they went to the playoffs and played the Warriors in that 7 game series at Golden One. So it was really fun to be a part of that team, that beam team. And as soon as that ended, I jumped over to Cal, just applying regularly, but having the Kings as my starting point really helped and my ability to articulate things. Because even then, I was only doing 1 year and I had been done less than a year in professional sports. So I would took the interview, kind of talked my way through, and kind of kind of used my mouthpiece and kind of sold them on myself. And then there I was the video producer for the whole athletic department for 3 months, so from May until October. And then I saw a position with the Cal women's basketball team open up, and that I applied for that position and then kind of did the same thing and and that's how I got that one and kind of transitioned over there where I got to handle all of the social media for the Cal women's basketball team for 2 seasons. Overlooked it with a counterpart of mine who did more of the photography and graphic design. So I did the social media management primarily and the video stuff, all the video creation. So intro videos, social media videos, any hype videos. So that was where I went there and then did that for 2 seasons. And then a position with the Valkyries opened up, and I was like, hey, like there's no better opportunity to get back into professional
Mhm.
sports than the Valkyries. I'm born and raised in the Bay Area. This is a home team. Like I loved everything that how rooted the Valkyries were in the Bay Area and the community. So that was a no-brainer for me to like even at least apply. And yeah, so applied. And that's where we are now. So we're wrapping up the first season, and it's been an incredible experience, kind of through and through. The same wave of emotions that everybody is feeling around it, and the excitement is the same thing that we are feeling within the organization. So being able to create and shoot and travel with the team and just be around the players, be around the team, everybody, it has been nothing short of amazing thus far.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. I mean, just the different stops that you've had, starting with the nightlife scene, right? But then transitioning over to sports, getting an internship with the Kings obviously is huge, right? So the networking though, right? You're reaching out, not to say, hey, can you hook me up with this job, but figuring out what you can do to put your best foot forward. And I think that probably went a long ways for you is like, I'm not asking for a free ride out here, but what can I do to help me make sure I can at least be seen and get this opportunity?
Yeah.
You always talk about networking is huge, right? It's all about who you know in the world. Maybe having that mutual friend helped you at least be heard from this guy, right? And next thing you know, you get that one, and then you go, to Cal, then you go to the women's side, then you go to the Valkyries. Like everything is like just the progression is crazy, right? Like to think from intern to the whole Cal department to the whole Cal women's basketball, now to the Valkyries. I mean, the season the Valkyries are having a historical, right, for their first year. Like to be a part of something like that, to be able to capture all of that on video. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's going to be for the memory books, right? I mean, their first inaugural season,
100%.
making playoffs, where probably no one even gave them that chance to be successful their first year out the gates, and here they are. I think they just clinched the playoff yesterday, right? So clinching playoffs, um, all the emotions, I'm sure.
Yeah, my journey has been definitely emotional. Like it's been, and I've been blessed with that. Like coming in at probably the right times. Like the Kings, I was on the team that made it to the playoffs after the drought, the 18 year or whatever, how many years it was, the drought. And then going into Cal, the women's basketball side. It was the first time we went to the NCAA tournament in Sharman Smith's tenure. So like being a part of the exciting part of that part of everyone's journey for the first time in there in that space. And then yeah, being with the Valkyries now has been crazy. Like, and even for myself, like yeah, like you said, I was an intern in March of 2023, but come October 2023, I was like director of creative content for
Mhm.
Cal women's basketball. And like that's not a lot of time in between. So I put that as a testament to, like I said before, like the networking and the talking and the mouthpiece that I mentioned that I had and being able to articulate. I have a deep care for like women's basketball. So I think that really helped me and being able to articulate that I'm in a space that I care about and showing the people that are looking at me for whatever the job is in both spaces for Cal and with the Valkyries, like I genuinely care about women's basketball. I care about the Bay Area. I care about community. And then my ability to articulate that is what I believe got me the position and gets me into the positions that I meet that I'm in because the places that I'm putting myself in, I am casting a wide net when you're looking for jobs in some cases, but I know that there's specific places that I really want to be. So making sure that I can articulate that this is where I want to be, I can provide value, but you are also providing me with just as much value in like being a part, just even being a part of the team.
Mhm. Yeah, talk about the experience at Cal, right? Being with the women's basketball for 2 years. I get to follow them and I know some of their players there. Talk about that experience with Cal because they had some really good teams, but also the great leader, Coach Harmon, but also great kids there as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't speak anything like anything higher than like of the program as a whole and just there's just this deep care for wanting women's sport, like not only just for women's basketball and women's sports to grow, but Charmin really cares about her players and cares about the program and the success of them, not only as players, but as people too. And I really saw that and I really feel that. And the same with her involvement in the community. Um, so that was what really drew me in, seeing that there was like just this unstoppable care for and passion for anything that Charmin and the team were putting into. And then being with that team was amazing to say the least too. Being in there for the last year of the Pac-12 had I know that they had there's like the sentiment behind that, and then the first year going to the ACC. And that was like my first experience traveling with the team. So understanding how the operation side of things, we're seeing the inside, seeing behind the scenes of like what college athletes are doing and balancing classes um and all of those things, but then you're still the same way that professional athletes have practice every day and have to get treatment. The college athletes have to do the same, and then they still have to go to class. So there's that level of like extra layer of things, and then managing to travel was a thing, but the players have at Cal are nothing short of amazing either. Like Sharman does a really good job at recruiting really good people.
Yep.
Um, and like I'm still close to some of the players now and like making sure that they're okay and talking even past players that have graduated from there, still staying in contact with them. Um, and like they're elite talent too, and they have just the same amount of passion for the game, the community and the people that is there. And yeah, so being at this inception, being at the beginning of what Charmin was starting to build and grow and what it is turning into, and will be for at least the next 5 years, right? I'm really excited to see where they go, and I'm glad to have been a part of the journey.
Yeah, talk about the travel schedule, right? Because I don't think people truly understand like what that means from going from Pac-12 to the ACC, and you're traveling across the country multiple times in a semester. Talk a little bit about that travel, and I mean, not even as a player, but for like being media, right? How hard was that for you on in the travel schedule?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was super hard for me and the staff, and so I can only imagine how hard it is for the players. But yeah, the way that it worked was, I mean, obviously we were in the Pac-12, so we would travel to all of the West Coast side. The furthest east we would go was Colorado, and Utah. But that was it. Like you only jump time zones, maybe like a 2 hour time change. But when we moved to the ACC, it was everything East Coast. So from the time that conference started in January all the way through I guess for us, it was like the middle end of March. Every other week we were on the East Coast. So the way the travel schedule would kind of work is home week. So Thursday, Sunday, we would be home. And then that Wednesday, we leave for game Thursday in Virginia, for example. Then you travel to Virginia Tech, if that's the partner, or Louisville or whatever, for a Sunday game. And then you come back and then you play again Thursday at home. And you kind of just goes back and forth. So during the season, for those 3-ish months, and then to every 5 to 7 days you are gone for 5 to 7 days. That was definitely very crazy. And then even before that, you still have the conference, you still have the preseason or the non-conference where you drive a little bit, but you're still having games. As soon as December comes, you're having games twice a week, every week. Uh, so that travel was really crazy, like adjusting to the time changes, losing 3 hours every week, and then you come back on a Sunday after the game, and then you get 3 hours back, but we're not landing since it's such a far flight. We're not landing until 2 to 3 a.m. And then the girls got to go to class on Monday. And then they still have midterms, they still have finals that they're like balancing. They're studying on the plane, doing film on the plane, even recovery they were doing on the plane. Um, that was kind of where it was, and that's kind of what it was. And like now that after having that inaugural year, I know that the staff has kind of really starting to really figure out what works best. And then even the same with the W with the Valkyries, like going across, like we've had some really tough stints on the road of 5 games in 7 days or whatever it is, whatever. Yeah, I don't 5-9, 5-11, or whatever it is. And it's like a lot of them are on the road, back to backs every other day, and you're kind of jumping around on the road 4 days at a time. So the travel is definitely part of the game. It's been fun. It's definitely fun, has its moments, but it's just as fun as it is. It's hard and challenging at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you hear a lot of WNBA stars talking about the travel, right? Or complaining about the scheduling, right? So it's like, yeah, they're professionals, but it's not easy, right? The travel
Mhm.
is not easy for anyone. And so to expect them to play that many games in such a short amount of time, it's tough on them, right? It's hard on
Mhm.
their bodies. Mentally, it's tough, even though they don't have the schoolwork, but they're professional athletes. There's a whole
Yeah.
different type of stressors that they have to deal with as well.
Yeah, and even sometimes they don't even have an off season or a break because for W players, like as soon as this is over, they're going overseas to go to their overseas teams. And then with college players, rookies that come in, they're just finishing a college season. So they're it's a constant go. And so recovery is like really has been really important on what I've found for on the professional side and with Cal. But I think that what Cal has going with going to the ACC, it having that travel and the schedule to be that travel, it kind of sets a tone that like if you have aspirations to play professionally and play in the W, like this is kind of what it's going to be. This
Yep.
is a good they the plus side to Cal being in the ACC and traveling to the East Coast, like that is a representation of what the professional travel will look like, whether you're overseas or in the W, because even in overseas, they're traveling to other places in Europe all the time too. So not everything is as close. It's going to be just as rigorous. So and no one's going to feel sorry for you when you're in the W playing and once in Washington, D.C. one day, and then you're in Chicago the next playing another game and you're fighting for a playoff spot. Like
Mhm.
Cal kind of has a unintentional setup for success for people who might have aspirations to make it to the W.
That's a good point. Yeah, the travel, getting used to that before you get to the league is probably beneficial for you, right? I mean, if you expect to go to the league and all of a sudden, okay, I'm going to travel now, that's going to be really hard to adjust to. So that's a great point as far as like college, finding a program that's going to essentially prepare you for the W is very important for a high school athlete to figure out. Talk a little bit about your time with the Valkyries. I mean, like we mentioned before, historical inaugural season. Tell me a little bit more about what that's been like for you.
Yeah, I mean, everything has been run and like constantly on the go since the moment I came in because I came in April of this year, so right before the season started, but they have been ripping and running and going since I mean, this organization got announced in what October 2023. Natalie Nakase got announced like maybe July-ish. So from July, and then you have all the things that came with that, like court, like everything is new, right? Like all of the partnership stuff and everything around the team is all new. So everything requires attention, whether it's from video, photo, partnerships, just social media, and then community, like building all of these things is everything is new. So there is some kind of spectacle to each thing that happens. Um, so being a part of it and coming into the season and just experiencing the buzz and experiencing the community and the heart that the Valkyries have kind of created for the Bay Area, like in my opinion, like the Valkyries are the funnest, hottest team in the W right now. And then in the Bay Area as a whole, like I can't walk down the street without seeing Valkyries fans, without seeing Valkyries gear. And it's just so like
Yep.
inspiring and just I'm in awe every day, like seeing how much people are loving this, especially in women's sports, and being in this space. And it's just, yeah, the community is just unrivaled. And everywhere that we go with community events, and sometimes we have players, and just the reception that they get, the love and the support that they're getting from everybody is nothing short of like spectacular. And being a part of it is just spectacular as well. And like along with, I'm sure a lot of my other counterparts and coworkers, like feel a sense of pride and ownership
Mhm.
whenever we have a home game, whenever someone is talking about how great the team is doing or how the everything is functioning and running and things like that. Like there is a sense of pride that I feel. And I think that pride kind of bleeds into everyone that is a Valkyries fan too. Like there's this sense of pride around being a Valkyries fan. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, they fostered it really well.
Yeah, they've done a great job with the community. I mean, Tip Hayes, she did a camp for the girls.
Mhm.
Tons of girls showed up to that. A great event. They do that hoop bus, right? And a lot of the players come out to that and hang out. Like they've been a great asset to the community and girls basketball for sure. Like they do the pregame with the girls, with the youth teams. They're
Mhm.
doing high fives with the players. Like the whole organization, top to bottom, has just been like such a class act, such a professionalism. Me a little jealous because we had the Monarchs and we didn't get a team in Sacramento, but
Right.
close in the Bay Area, like all the Sacramento kids love Monarch. I mean, I love the Valkyries, right?
Mhm.
They gravitate towards that. They see like, oh wow, there's a pro team right in our backyard. But they've done an amazing job of reaching out to the younger generation as well.
Yeah, and I think that with the timing has just been nothing but like impeccable too with the boom of women's college basketball and just women's sports in general is just at an all-time like the boom is it's just exponential right now. And then you drop a WNBA team right in the middle of the Bay Area and then
Huge.
you clinch the playoffs like you can't write anything more historic and like amazing for the sport and the Bay Area and the community in general.
How have the players been towards you? I mean, obviously, everyone loves media. Any players stand out particular that just, have shown a lot of love to you as far as like all your media that you've been doing?
I think all of them for the most part. I mean, we had for the most part, like yeah, like I said, me and our team, like we travel with the team, so we spend a lot of time with them. We see them all the time, and all the road games, home games, and in the hotels. Like it's just kind of us in the space. We're all going through the late nights and getting to the hotel late and just the travel all together in a sense. So there's that camaraderie. And then working with the players, they've been nothing short of amazing either. We have a really great group of players. I think I mean coming from that expansion draft, it's all of the players that we have are quote unquote like walking into the season weren't highly regarded, weren't
Mhm.
seen as
Yep.
these like crazy all-stars. They've all been like six women for the mo like to some capacity. And I think and with that comes like this whole team identity of team, and there's a there's a really big level of humility here and like groundedness to the community because you're always offering whatever the team needs. So there's that understanding, and all of the players are really down to earth. I have a good time with them. We all talk like they're yeah, been it's been really great working with them, and then yeah, we can help them out. Like they know that they have a really good understanding for the most part, even with college too, is like we are there to help them grow.
Mhm.
They're there to play basketball, and but we're here to help them like look good and help the game grow so that they can look good and they can like progress in whatever way that they want, and bring more eyes to the community and bring more fans and just bring more engagement. Especially in women's basketball, where it's very important, where our fans love to feel connected to the players, and they know that we kind of bridge that gap, that give them that connection, which turn into like lifelong fans and supporters for them.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to meet multiple players on the team, got to talk to a lot of them. Just that camaraderie that that group has. I mean,
Mhm.
there's a reason why they're winning games, right? You talk about they weren't like the MVP candidates, anything like that, but they all came together. Excuse me. They all came together. But the love that they have for each other, I mean, that's special, especially at the pro level.
Mhm.
They truly are selfless. They're grounded. They want to see everyone be successful. I mean, I think and I just from the outside looking in, that's a huge reason why they are successful. They truly do care about each other. They support each other at all their different events that they're hosting. That's huge for a team.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a testament to the way that general manager Ohema and Natalie kind of built this team around that. And yeah, the camaraderie is nothing short of what it is. We that like you said, that is a reason that we are winning games. Yeah, so every experience that I've had with the players, and has been great. Um, it's definitely different than like being on the men's side with the NBA,
Mhm.
and then being in college and then women's side of college and then the WNBA. At both levels, it's the groundedness, it's the understanding that we are there to help.
Mhm.
Um, so there is a level of respect that I genuinely do feel, which is really good from working in college athletics with the women's basketball team and in the W with the Valkyries.
Yeah, and then talk a little bit about so you also run a media company. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and what that encompasses?
Yeah. So right now it's kind of taken a little bit of a backseat, being that I'm been putting a lot of time
Yeah.
in with the Valkyries, but I do like you run a small production company. We do social media management for like small businesses.
Mhm.
Um, And yeah, and we are working into doing short films and narratives that kind of surround the space of sports,
Mhm.
music, a little bit of music, entertainment, and culture. Like last October, we dropped a project that celebrated like Filipino American artists and athletes in the space, and kind of just like the kind of celebrated the excellence that
Mhm.
Filipino Americans can bring to that space. So for me, in this as off season comes, I want to produce more content, more short films, branded content, things around those stories
Mhm.
of women in sports and people of color in sports or in music and entertainment, and kind of just shed light onto the excellence that we have in this space. And especially in the Asian American community with sports, like now that it's slowly climbing, like there's more of us in the league and all
Yep.
of the leagues. They're coming, especially with all the even in college, like high school players, like it's slowly coming. And being a company that is grounded in that finds community, culture, and sport, and like the intersection of all of that really important. That's near and dear to me. So that those are
Mhm.
the kind of stories that I want to tell, and that I look forward to helping other brands possibly do, and then even on as well like small businesses. I'm really big into the community and working with small businesses. I love to see small businesses grow, and be a part of their them becoming big businesses, right?
Mhm. No, I love that. Yeah, and telling their stories, right? I mean, that's always huge because there's a lot of stories out there that don't just they just we don't hear about them, right? We don't know about them as much. They're not in the media. So by, having your company provide just more light to different stories, like that's huge, right? I think that's going to be special but truly rewarding, right? As a
Mhm.
content creator, as a media owner, I mean, just sharing people's stories and hearing what they've gone through in order to become, to the spot they're at now. I love that idea and wish you nothing but the best on that for sure.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so I mean, let's end it with like, give me some type of advice you would give to younger kids who, maybe they don't end up playing professional sports or even, high level college basketball or any college sports. And what kind of advice would you have to help them transition into life after their sport?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so in my experience and as I've kind of navigated this space that talking to people, like most people don't think of anything outside of being a player or a coach as like a job in sports. Like there are, I forgot the percentage, but there's like so many other jobs in sports that you can stay connected to, that keep you connected to sports if you're not ready to let go. If you aren't a coach or an athlete, but you still love sports, like we have jobs and opportunities for people to stay and still stay close to the sport, and still do different things. Like me, for example, creative. I mean, we have graphic designers. You still have salespeople who are like into that. You have finance. You have tech. Like there's everything that any industry has. You have that job, and it's in sports too. So I think that if there is an if there are kids that are not sure what they want to do after, and because all they've done is pour into being an athlete and being in sports, and they aren't ready to let that go. Like, yeah, they just know that there are opportunities and ways that you can navigate the space in sports that isn't an athlete or a coach. And if you are trying to get, and if media is something that is important to you, and that is like a way that you want to go, like my journey hasn't been the best, like, or wasn't always the. I know that from the outside, when we talk about it, it kind of looks like it's been exponential and it's only been going up and up and up. But that came with a lot of like powering through a lot of hardships. Like I said, I was nursing and then became marketing, and that was because my parents didn't really believe in the space that I was going into. Even after I was with the Kings, my parents still weren't fully sold on the idea of me working in media and working with a camera and being creative and having this artist lifestyle and being able to support myself as an artist. Um, and so that was pretty heavy for me sometimes at times. Um, and so now being in my space now, like as a creative artist, like I have a family and just like, you know what I mean? Like I'm supporting myself and doing all the things. Um, so I guess like the advice that I would have is like just kind of just figure out what you love and go all in on it. The same way that you go in on your sports. If you aren't going to go hit that professional level or collegiate level, find the same love that you have for your sport in something else that can keep you close to sports or whatever it is. Just whenever you find that passion, whenever you find that thing that gives you that itch, that gives you that like that kind of lights that fire into you every day, run with it and just don't, it'll all work out. If you just like walk by faith, you're gonna be okay. Um, and it'll always work itself out. The money will come, the money will find you, and the security will come. But if you're just leading with love and just passion, you're gonna be okay.
how difficult was it to make that switch from nursing to and business and also marketing? But talking about like your parents were not quite supportive of that decision. I mean, how do you believe in yourself to keep going and say, you know what, I trust what I can do. I know this is the right decision for myself. It may take some time, but this ultimately is going to lead me to happiness and to have a profession.
Yeah, like I guess just going through it, it took a lot of me kind of navigating this space for myself and just understanding that like I at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to live with my decisions.
Mhm.
Like this life that I have, regardless of who, like my parents were very important in the process of my life, obviously, like for anybody.
Mhm.
But when all is said and done, like when I'm old and on my way out, like only life decisions I can have I can answer to are for the ones that I made for myself.
Mhm.
So that kind of kept me going. It's like, what is driving me to get up every day? And it was taking photos, taking videos, and just being in the space. And like how I got through it was this is what kind of called to me, and it gave me a sense of purpose. And I knew that like I would rather have this feeling than have all the money in the world. Like I had a coming out of college, I was a project manager for a construction company. So I was making decent money. I was a project manager, especially out of college during COVID. It was decent money, but I hated it. I did it for 6 months and I hated it every day. Like it was not for me. And I was just like, okay, but I'm making good money. And my parents were like, you're making like decent money for yourself like right out of college. Some kids don't even have like jobs right now. But I
Mhm.
was like, man, I don't it's not doing it for me. Like I don't care that I have that. And so when I got to the Kings, like it was an internship, jumping from a project manager position, and the next kind of job that I poured into was an internship. Like that's a big jump and it takes a lot of risk. And it's a lot of yeah, just betting on myself. And it was like, if I'm not going to believe in myself, who else is? And luckily, being in the space for a while, like people saw that, so, like being in community with people in the industry with in kind of boosted me and told me like you can do this, like you're really good, like you should believe in yourself and think that you can. And it was having that support from members of my community that really helped push me through too, in addition to just me knowing that I could do it. And it's that underdog, that athlete mentality,
Yep.
having that grounded, like you're going to be doubted by people. You're not going to win every game, right? But like you're going to take your losses, but you're still going to play and you're going to practice every day. And I put the same athlete mentality that I had into my creative field. And I'm like, if I'm working this hard, there's no way I can fail. I knew that I couldn't fail because I put so much of myself into this. So giving myself that grace, like, I love this. I'm putting my deposits in. I'm depositing every day and I have been and I still do every day, daily deposits. No matter how small or big, it's always there. So it's just like with the work ethic, there's just no way I could fail. And figuring that out early on, really helped me.
Yeah, I mean, going from a steady job, right, all of a sudden to an internship where, I mean, I don't know the numbers, but I'm imagine it's a pay cut. So
Minimum wage in Sacramento, California.
but to bet on yourself, right? And then to have
Mhm.
that support system, where, people around you are like, no, you're good, man. You got this. Like, you just got to stick with it a little bit. But we always say as athletes, man, we have a different mindset. Our mentality is we're not going to just give up. We're not going to just quit. Things are going to get hard. We already know that's going to happen. But going back to your roots of, being an athlete in high school and college, it's that goes a long ways for, what we want to do as far as, our future holds. And then
Mhm.
having that support system. Obviously, you're now a fiance too,
Mhm.
in the space, in the sports world. I mean,
Mhm.
talk about her support for you on this journey as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nothing. I mean, we met in the space, right? She was dancing for the Kings at the time that I was a content intern for the Kings. So she is works in the space. Now she works with she does professional makeup on the side too, and it's like so she has that understanding of not only sports but freelance business, and creativity, um, and everything like that. So the support has been nothing short of amazing from her as well. I mean, having someone that's in it with you right next to you, not doing pretty much the same thing. It's just a different medium, right? Like hers
Yep.
is makeup, social media, and content. Mine is just maybe still social media and just film content production.
Yeah.
And it's the same. So when you have someone that is on that same wavelength and understands the struggle, the late nights, long nights, the
Mm.
uncertainty that comes with the space, especially financially, like it's all hard no matter what. But having somebody that truly understands the industry that you're in and the space that you're in, as a creative is very beneficial for the both of us. Just as much it is beneficial for me, I know that it benefits her as well because I can level with her on the same thing. Like oh, you need to travel for work in next week, do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah,
need
I
it.
understand
Like,
already.
yeah, oh,
Yep.
you have to go tomorrow. Like the schedule, if you know in sports, like things change really, really fast.
Very fast. Yep.
Very quick, and you have to be able to change, adjust, and adapt on the drop of a dime and flip your schedule upside down sometimes. And then having a little one, having a child in the mix too,
Yep.
it wouldn't be possible. Like all of this wouldn't be possible if we weren't as flexible as we are, and that's because of like just the timing and the space that we're both in, that we can support each other in that way.
Yeah, it's huge, right? I mean, I don't think people understand as a creative, our we don't have an 8 to 5. It could be at any given time at the drop of someone could call right now and say, "Hey, I have to be here in the afternoon," and we're gonna do it, right? And we're gonna switch that up with, our significant others and tell, "Hey, well, wasn't I was planning on being at dinner tonight, but I got to go to this meeting. I got to be somewhere." And them understanding that is so powerful, right? Like it's because it's not for everyone, right? Not everyone can understand the lifestyle of a creative. So,
Yeah,
um,
I've definitely seen relationships fall apart because of not even anything crazy. It's just because of the industry that we're in and just the ups and downs. And some people can't handle, like, not to say they can't handle, but it's not for them to be in a up and down space where I don't. You can plan something out with me like in like 3 to 6 months. I don't, but I honestly might not know where I will be in those 3 to 6 months. But it's a part of it, and it's fun, and it's we get to be around cool people and experience crazy things, and having someone to do that with and understand it has been amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Man, like I said, huge fan of all your work. Gotten to see, a lot of your stuff you've done over the past couple years. And I mean, I know you're just getting started, so I'm excited to see where your journey takes you over the next, 5 to 10 years. But also good luck on your media business as well. I know you're gonna start putting some energy into that as well when you find some time. You won't have a lot of time, but when you find some time for it. But best of luck on that as well. And just all your journeys, man. You're an inspiration to all the creatives out there. And just want to say, thank you for coming out and sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, I have had a journey and have lived a couple full lives in probably in this time span of time, and I love sharing my journey and just providing any insight that I can and help people know that they're going to be that they can do it. That whatever you're going to put your heart to it's possible. And then yeah, so like I said, I'm an open book for anything. If anyone has any questions about my journey in my life and needs any advice, like I'm here. I think that a piece that always stuck with me is like everything that we learn in this space in this life isn't for us to really keep. And I kind of hold that really, really true. Everything that we go through, it's like it's meant to be shared so that you can make it easier or help somebody out and kind of foster this generation of community and just the next generation of athletes and creatives and just good people in general.
I appreciate it, man. Truly a blessing. Thank you.
Of course, of course.